Hello, how are you dudes? This is B.Jr. from EnduranceProductions. Got in from the job here, went to the movies yesterday and I took in a viewing of the Crazies 2010 version. I've had time to sleep on it and I thought I'd just sit down a little bit here and give you my post-viewing thoughts on the film, tell you the good points that I like, the bad points. Not really to steer you clear of it or tell you to go see it, but just give you my thoughts and let you draw your own conclusion. So, and as always, bear with me on these post-viewing thought videos are kind of hard to do because it's sort of like you just got a snapshot of the film anyway, and you're just kind of, you haven't had time to really scrutinize it on the old home cinema here and give it its due, basically. So, without further delay, you can't talk about a remake film without first kind of mentioning or talking about the original. The original, The Crazies, was a kind of an in-between movie for George Romero in the early 70s. I believe it came out in the 1972, circa 1972, somewhere around there. Not my favorite George Romero film by far, but it's not even really like a full-on horror movie. It's kind of like an action suspense thriller kind of movie for that time frame. I kind of dubbed it a drive-in movie, which is kind of like these exploitation movies that were out during that time, through the early to mid to late 70s. So I've always kind of thought of it as something you would see at a drive-in during that time or era of movie. What can I say? The early one was a good film. It's not my favorite Romero film, but it's kind of like a little piece of Romero history for me. So if you're kind of like a horror buff and you just want to see everything that a certain director's done, you might want to Netflix it before you buy it, in my opinion. It's not to everyone's taste. It's just kind of like a conspiracy theory, action, chaos kind of movie, really is what it is. Let's flash forward now more to the point and talk about my take on, or my post-viewing thoughts of The Crazies 2010. I guess I'll say it this way, folks. I will go with the good points first, and then I'll hit the bad points. Going into it, my good points on the post-viewing of The Crazies 2010, it was a well-produced movie. You can tell there's money behind the project. I like the way they shot the movie. The movie had a nice grainy, washed out look to it, which really kind of set the desolate tone, or the kind of just the mood of the movie. I thought they did that well. They had a decent mixture of practical and CGI effects, which is kind of about a given with any type of horror or action movie nowadays. You're going to have some CGI mixed in just to keep everybody happy, and keep the producers happy too for cost effectiveness of the movie itself, the overall project. It built suspense pretty decently. I don't agree with every camera angle they used in the movie. I think they stole a couple, maybe from Sam Raimi and a couple other people, but overall not a bad project. I mean, it was a well-produced project, and it's worth seeing at least once. It's good entertainment. I don't feel like I wasted my money. I felt like I had a good time while I was watching it. A couple jump scares here and there in it, but like I said, it's not really like a horror movie, or it's kind of like a suspenseful action thriller. It's kind of like, that's one of the good points too, is that it holds true to the original story, and it really has a smaller group of people on the run from the government and all that, but at its core, it still kind of harnesses the idea. It's not a to Hades and Gone remake to where it just doesn't have anything to do with the other one. So there is a kindred spirit between the old Romero flick and this one. Kind of hitting some of the bad points in this one, guys. Excuse me, there I had to have a little go-go juice here. I guess the main bad point is it falls into that remake category. That's a given. It's got that working against it. But it's also got that remake questionable rewatchability nature. And what I mean by that is, after seeing it, I already knew kind of in my gut that I probably won't buy this film to add to my collection. Now, never say never. I'll probably go and rent it off Netflix and give it another watching when I can actually sit down and pause it if I need to, or just take it all in. That or if they have great special features with it, or even some more scenes cut back into the movie. That brings me to another, well, just to kind of cap that off, the rewatchability factor is there. Just like many of these remakes, it makes a big splash in the pool, so to speak, but then after the splash is over, the water kind of simmers down and smooths out. Not many people want to see that splash again, or in this type of product. So that kind of brings me to my next thing, which was rewatchability. That is a question. That's a problem, but I don't know, guys. It's just one of those deals where I can already tell you going into it, it's probably not going to be one part of my collection. But I would say Netflix it. Wait till it comes out, rent it, try it out, Redbox it, whatever you want to call it nowadays, whatever the video stores are. Since Blockbuster's demise, that's the main bad points of the movie. Is it's kind of like a little piece of entertainment that shares a kindred spirit with an old drive-in movie, and it's kind of more of the same but done more cleaner, more action-based, more suspenseful. They did a decent job. I will give them that. They had some good kill scenes in it, but overall, if you're not a John Carpenter, hardcore John Carpenter, I'm so sorry guys, it's been a long day, George Romero fan, I would say just wait for DVD, give it a rental first, and then try it out. Try it on like a pair of shoes. If it fits, wear it. If not, just send it back to the video store. That's been my post-viewing thoughts on The Crazies 2010. I hope you've enjoyed it, and as always, stay tuned, and I will see you next time.